Now, this pre-existing conditions argument. They make this argument that people with pre-existing conditions can't be covered. Well, let me tell you something. It depends on the circumstance. It depends on the circumstance. If you're part of a group insurance program and you hire somebody who has a pre-existing condition, more times than not, they are covered. And the reason is, as part of a larger group, they have their formulas for figuring this out. The premiums that everybody else pays can cover the costs of the more expensive employees or individuals. If you're an individual with a pre-existing case that's very expensive, that requires all kinds of surgeries and medicines and doctor visits, and you go in and say, I want coverage, more times than not, they'll say no. But if you're part of family coverage, group coverage, a small business coverage, more times than not, they'll say yes. And so what we have to do is slow down the leftist when he makes these comments and find out what they're talking about. Now, does that mean that private insurance is imperfect? Yes, it's imperfect. But it's far more perfect than government-run health care. And they can't decide. Remember that caller who said, no, I don't want you to look outside the United States, so I looked inside. Then he wanted to go outside. Like Mark in Maryland, WMAL, a Democrat. What do you have to say?
Hey, good morning, Mark. Excuse me, Mark. I'm one of your.
Good morning. It's good evening, my friend.
I'm on my way to work, so my apologies. But I'm one of your 25% liberal audience. And let me tell you what my philosophy is. It's pretty simple. I believe in controlled capitalism. I believe in.
Well, then welcome to America, because we have even worse than controlled capitalism. We have growing socialism.
I think we're going down a great path. I think that you can mandate and control the way industry acts. And
Who can? Who can? Who?
Who? The government.
Yeah, who? Well, who? What government? Who in the government?
Well, like the
Here's the problem, you don't even know who. You don't even care who. You don't know their names. You don't know if they're a politician, a bureaucrat, what agency or department. You don't want to know anything about their resume. You don't want to know what their experience is. But they, who produce nothing, should control someone or some enterprise that produces something. Why do you have such a mentality?
Why? Because I think it's a good way to redistribute what is obviously a wealth.
Why do you want to steal money and steal liberty from other citizens? What did they ever do to you?
Well, we do it on a daily basis anyway.
No, you're not. I want you to listen to me. I'm asking you, people go to work every day. They earn a certain wage, or they go to work and they hope to make a certain profit if they run a small business or something, and most businesses in this nation are small. And they work hard every day, and they put their labor into it, and their labor is their liberty, and their liberty is what this nation is all about. And Mark comes along and he says, you know what? No, I don't like that. I want the government, whomever that is, whatever that is, to tell you how to behave. Why don't you believe in liberty? Why do you believe in stealing liberty from your fellow citizens?
We do have an obligation to take a portion of that liberty away. We do it already, and we just don't do it.
No, wait a minute. We have an obligation not to take liberty away from anybody, but to comply with the Constitution. That's the law of the land. Mark and his friends on the left don't get to decide on the fly what liberty we have and what liberty we don't have, sir. How do you contain this? What do you look to? What do you look for to determine who gets liberty and who doesn't? Where is this written?
Well, it's no more written than when the Founding Fathers decided they want to do the same thing.
The Founding Fathers actually founded a nation and established a nation of disparate colonies that decided to throw in and create a nation under certain rules. Now, you haven't founded a damn thing. You haven't contributed a damn thing to this society, as best as I can tell. Maybe in your own little way you have, but not in any general way. Why should we all follow Mark and not Madison?
Because it's not just me. I don't want you to follow me. We need to follow good ideas, and these are good ideas.
Well, you can follow good ideas, but you have no right to steal my liberty, to steal the value of my liberty as manifested in my private property, sir. What gives you that right?
We do have that right. We decided it as a nation.
Really? So I have a right to kick down your door and steal whatever I want out of your house?
Mark, if we pass the laws that say
why don't you answer my questions? No. The fact that somebody passes a law and makes robbery legal is both immoral and unethical and illegitimate.
Mark, your morals and ethics are your own.
All right, you're not. Sir, one more time. What is the difference between a government stealing my liberty and an individual stealing my liberty?
The government does it legally, Mark.
No, the government doesn't do it legally. The government does it through brute force.
If we pass a law...
What do you do? What do you do in the middle of the night? No, you don't get to just pass a law and violate the Constitution. It's fun. No, folks, slow down a second. This is very interesting. He condemns the law of the land, our founding document. But if his favorite politicians pass a law, then it's legitimate. I have that about right, Mark? Why is that law legitimate, but the founding document is not? Because Mark says so?
The founding document is something that we can change as we see fit.
No, we don't get to interpret it as we see fit. You know what that's called, Mark? Anarchy.
Okay,
now, I asked you a question. What do you do?
You may believe that, but Thomas
what do you do?
Otherwise.
What do you do?
Actually, I work for a phone company.
Really?
I make sure the phones work in the middle of the night.
Well, they all don't, do they?
They don't always, but you know what? There's no such thing as a perfect system.
Mm-hmm. Well, why do you work for the capital? Why do you work? Let me ask you a question. So you belong to a union, right?
No, I do not actually. I'm a supervisor, and I'm out of the community. I'm above that at this point in time. I can no longer become a union member. I'm management.
I didn't hear you. Somebody was talking to my ear. You're no longer what?
Okay. I'm no longer a union member. I'm management.
So now you're management.
That is correct.
Well, I would think that would repulse you. Why don't you stay? Why don't you stay in the rank? Why don't you stay in the ranks of the worker?
Because they pay me more to do so, Mark.
Oh, really? Oh, they pay you more, and you like being paid more, don't you?
You take more.
Well, we ought to take it all because according to you, if I, Mark, decide that there's a good thing to do with your money other than what you do with it, I should get somebody to pass a law and take it, or I'll kick down your door and just steal it.
But
you're incoherent, but I do thank you for you're incoherent, but I do thank you for your call, and you are incoherent. Am I allowed to say that? Oh, Mark. He wasn't rude. He was very nice, as a matter of fact, but incoherent nonetheless.